My name is Georgie. I don't teaching at HSC is a very small part of the stuff I do. I'm also a psychometrician and a behavioral geneticist at the Russian Academy of Education. Uh, I was asked to talk to you about the future of assessment, but really it's my own experiences and my humble predictions about what you might find in the field if you choose to enter it right now. So I'm going to be talking in general, and I think the trends that I will discuss are applicable to Russia, but also all of the countries of the former Soviet Union, half of the Scandinavian countries like Finland, Norway, Iceland, uh, not Netherlands. If you want to be a leading psychometrician, don't go to the Netherlands. They'll eat you alive. Also, the Latin American countries, what I would call psychometrically developing. Um, it's like a universal, general, broad strokes kind of stuff. So recently, I got into very unexpectedly into a bit of a leadership position, and I'm coordinating a team which develops a lot of tests for basically the government. Um, and from this position, I was able to observe a lot of the trends in business. I mean, personally, I have a bit of an allergy to business and business terms. And so when someone tells me about KPI and productivity, I just want to run out of the room. But I have made myself push through, and here are some of the conclusions that I've made. First of all, even though psychometrics was heavily suppressed for over 60 years, while in America, for example, they were making and building ETS and massive testing, we didn't have anything, we weren't allowed. But now we're rapidly catching up. And even corporations know that psychometrics is important and you have to make valid and reliable measurements. And if you don't, it's going to lead to bad results. People have already tasted this. So mm, when I finished this master's program, which we're talking about almost 10 years ago, my worry was that I wouldn't be able to find a job. And I was lucky to find a person affiliated with an outside contractor, the World Bank, who already knows a lot about psychometrics. They work with all countries, right? Um, but right now, so much time has passed, and the demand has definitely outgrown the supply. This master's program, the measurement in psychology and education, but the name's changing now. It produces very high quality specialists, literally the best in the country, and people can't get enough of them. Um, it's like you quit your job and you're not even scared. You're gonna find another one tomorrow. It's that good, I promise. Well, no, I don't promise anything. Um, but
I just wanted to say that the demand is so strong that we basically have to work two, three jobs because we are needed in a lot of different areas and spheres.
yeah, and that actually means that burnout is a really mm, dangerous and looming threat especially for young specialists who like to work on enthusiasm. So be warned. Anyway, psychometric literacy is growing, and the demand for specialists is incredible right now. But still, very few people in the business world know what goes into test development. So if you come to them and say, we can make you this test, you have to keep in mind Mark Zellman's great saying, what was it, something about 2 years and $6 million, right? You have to spend a lot of time developing tests, and people will never know in advance. You have to tell them and tell them again. And I think the most lacking area here is the test score interpretation. Even if you can convince people that developing items and finding the right theoretical framework is important. With that, they will agree. But if you look at the market right now, every single company, their interpretation is so bad. Their interpretation of test scores is so bad. They just say, well, they just use percentiles and standard deviations, which are just just describing amounts of test scores. And the interpretation of your skill is high is just bolted on with no theoretical concept of why. So I think as growing specialists, this is going to be the main trend to hammer in how important standard setting and setting norms is for psychometric assessment. So here I'm setting the first direction for the future of assessment. We gotta push through the importance of standards, just like our grandmother Anastasia wrote in her book, test scores are meaningless without standards. That's what gives them meaning. Anyway, also another area in which the current practices in business are lacking is reporting. So reporting both for respondents and for just purposes of documentation. So you have to make correct test documentation, and we actually teach this on our course, like on the first few lectures, yeah. What's the worst here? It's the work that goes into connecting and analyzing the work of subject matter experts. It's people can't find them, and when they do, the way that they record how this interaction, it's always badly structured. So setting the second assessment, for assessment, future assessment approach, we have to follow ETS's advice and introduce really good standards for working with subject matter experts. And in choosing them, in recording how we interact with them, recording all their sessions and what results we make. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm also lucky to have an identity outside of business. Thank God for that. I identify with academia much more. And I'm happy to report that people are actually surprisingly well-versed now, even in these psychometrically developing quote-unquote countries, because people in academia, they don't limit themselves to Russian-speaking sources and, native language sources. It's all science is international now. So people really understand psychometrics quite well now. It was surprising to find my contemporaries who don't have a psychometric education using CFAs constantly, confirmatory factor analysis constantly in their research, and using good statistical methods for reliability. Like people know already that Cronbach's alpha sucks, right? So I think the high statistical literacy and its application to psychometrics is really good. But what we're left with right now as young specialists is a lot of legacy instruments and paradigms. For example, and in paradigms, I mean, I think it's a word from neurobiological research. It's popular there. It just means an experimental approach or a combination of gathering data and the method by which you go. I don't know. Anyway, so the lots of legacy instruments. It's important. When I joined the Psychological Institute, a lot of my work went into improving the methods, the psychometric methods that they had. Like I found an assessment. I'm not going to tell whose it was, but for some reason, you could never, for any single action, get less than 2 raw points, to score, yeah. Never one. Why? It's so ridiculous. to artificially increase the resulting score and its variance, but that doesn't work anyway. You have to work on that and correct it and bring balance to the psychometrics in these old institutions. But these methods, my personal motto for them is you should always try to you should always try to inject meaning instead of trying to extract it. Like you introduce meaning, not extract it. Смысл надо не извлекать, а вкладывать. Right? So there's a lot of value, for example, in all of these legacy instruments from a theoretical standpoint, because they are really a result of a lot of good research, good theoretical research. And here we can see a counter trend to the stuff that we see in business. Because people over-rely on statistics. They say, well, this method, for example, Raven's factor structure, it's multifactorial. It's definitely not monofactorial like Raven intended, and therefore we cannot use a single score. But there's still value in the single score for this intelligence test. We can still study it based on Raven's expert opinion. There's still value, and we always have to remember and keep it. We have to, again, keep balance between theoretical justifications and good, rigorous statistical analysis. So I'm setting this third trend, the third future of assessment trend, balancing and learning to take what's good from the experts from our past and applying that with contemporary statistical methods. Also, there is so much untapped research potential in these institutions. For example, they all measure, if they measure neurobiological stuff, they all take a measure of time. No one uses it. You can apply time moderated models. You can measure effort that goes into solving items, which is a separate measure from item difficulty, based on how much time people spend. And it's just data that's lying there. Also, you can use new psychometric approaches, especially through estimators like Bayesian statistics, to improve reliability and to solve pervasive problems such as the p-value problem, right? People don't do that right now. And it's something that I think we as future specialists should definitely try to capitalize upon and, stake our claim in science. After all, yes, after all, we are Wundt's grandchildren, right? And as such, as psychometricians, we should be experts in all areas of measurement in science related to humans, social sciences, right? To all measurements in social sciences. So I'm so happy to see that that my old master's program is moving towards this legacy view of psychometrics. So the legacy view is the future view of psychometrics. We're going to introduce so much good statistics. It's going to be great. All right. So to sum up, in business, people know that it's important, and people want to hire you a lot. They don't know how to use experts, and they don't know how to write down their results. But we know, and we're going to tell them and earn a lot of money. In academia, we're gonna use the data that people already have, and already gathering and interested in gathering, in order to make our name, and do some really good research and improve the research of others. And it's also really highly demanded. If you say, hire me to do some neurobiological work, I'm a psychometrician, they're going to take you with open arms. That's what happened to me. They really need psychometricians everywhere now. It's very important. Oh, mobile phones. Yeah. So the last thing I wanted to mention is that right now nobody has good apps to measure. Well, few people outside of the so-called psychometrically developing, as I call them, countries, they use apps to gather data. But here in these markets and in these scientific spaces, people don't have the money or the know-how to develop them, but they're starting to. And this is so good. You can really gather time data without the problems that computers bring, because there's a 0.5 second lag almost, right? But not on mobile phones. And you can ask people to answer you 3 times a day. It's so great. And this is going to be another a final trend and a final future of psychometrics for me. Keep an eye on mobile assessment. That's really going to be a boom uh, very soon.
I think it's a great well, the last thought that
Yeah.
Georgi said is a great way to start my part of the presentation, and I wanted to talk to you about two trends. I have somewhat similar but also very different professional trajectory than Georgi. I was for 9 years in academia, and now I'm working in business. So I want to present to you two trends that are really hot right now in Russia and, of course, outside of our country. That probably might interest you and that we will be talking about in the course of test development of this SOLA program. So, first of all, technology, you all know, and we all see it, well, thanks to coronavirus, that technology is bringing life to us right now. And it is bringing new life to the assessment. We have, because of the rapid technology развитие,
Development.
of course. Because of the rapid technology development, we have new opportunities to measure what we can't see. For example, critical thinking, creativity, and some other stuff. Right now on the slide, you can see the real example of the measurement for creativity for children. And this is what we are teaching and learning at this master's program. And this is just I'm talking about this trend. I don't know how to say about it because well, there is so much stuff in it. We can't quite possibly for this like hour like go through all of the that lies behind that lies beneath this theme, this trend. So technology enhanced items is a very, very interesting topic that could be used as a research like for the research for your researchers after or during studying in this master's program. And this is a great and really, really interesting topic for us, for me also. Okay, let's move to the second topic, that is a little bit, I think, greater than technology enhanced items. It's universal design. You know that well, in 21st century, we all vote for equality. We all vote for um, opportunities to all the people without any well, I don't know how to say,
Discrimination.
without any discrimination. Thank you so much. So we uh, we see universal design in, first of all, architecture, right? You can see the picture on the right side of the screen. But it is also a developing trend in test development. Uh, right now, there is a great demand for tests that that allow people with different disabilities to express what is being measured by this test. uh, Good. So this is the other hot topic right now. It's not that hot in Russia because, well, as Georgi said, we're like a few years behind. Uh, hmm?
Decades.
A few decades, yeah, right. A few decades behind, well, USA, for example, but we are getting there. And right now, in business world, there is a demand for tests that embrace equality and opportunities for different people. And well, the picture on the left, it's in Russian, but I think I was trying to illustrate that in Russia, oh, regarding equality and universal design, it's not that good right now. But we have but this underdevelopment is a great opportunity for psychometricians to work, to conduct research, to move academic research forward, and business different and different business demands also. So I think that would be all